tell me a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? Where do you stay? Where do you work?
So, okay, so my name is Asanda. I'm originally from the Eastern Cape. I actually moved to Cape Town because of tourism, of course. I studied social work, and then I got stung by the tourism bug while I was after graduating, and then I was like, I don't actually know what to do, and then I met a few people, and then I started working in the industry. So now I'm a co-founder of a Kwela Academy. It's for we work with young women between the ages of 18 to 35. We're using tourism as a tool to empower them. So most of the women are coming from under-resourced communities, and they've never traveled before. They've never done any activities that the guests that we host in most tourism companies that come and do. They've never done them, and they always see these photos from tourists saying that I went to this place, and they're like, is this our country? So we teach them about hospitality. We give them a little bit of soft skills to be able to function in the industry. And then we take them on a road trip for 3 weeks from Cape Town all the way to Swaziland. They get a little bit of a passport so that they can be able to go to Swaziland and actually have a stamp on their passport. Actually puts them on the door to actually start traveling themselves, or to start to be tourist guides, or whatever they would like to use the tourism industry as.
So what inspired you to start Kwela? Why did you think this is something I wanted to get behind?
So I co-founded Kwela actually with Kim Whitaker. She owns Once in Cape Town. So when I moved from Clinton, I'm from Clinton East in East London. I was working for Buccaneers there, and then I moved. I met this lady, German lady. We became friends, and she was like, she works for Once in Cape Town. Don't I want a job in Cape Town? I was like, I always wanted to move to Cape Town. Then I came and I worked for Kim at Once in Cape Town as a receptionist. I worked for 2.5 years, and then in 2018, the idea came about, and the main idea was we saw that there's a lot of youth unemployment. In 2018, it was 67%. And then there's also a gap where most tourism, even Once in Cape Town, was struggling to retain people that continue to come to work on a daily basis, and they're passionate about it, and they want to give the tourists the experience of a lifetime. So they were struggling with that. So we saw that gap, and then we saw the youth unemployment, and we're like 1 + 1 is equal to 2. Yeah.
So how do you inspire these women specifically to go with tourism? Because it's not something that's highly paid. We're seen as a soft industry, and it's quite easy to get in from a skills perspective. So we often struggle as a tourism industry to attract the workforce. How do you inspire these women to get involved?
So most of these women are I see them as already inspired by, when you see a group of tourists coming into your township, and you see a guide, it's from the same township, and you wonder how you can actually get into that same space as well, so that you can showcase your skills or showcase your own community. So they're already inspired by seeing the people that are already existing in their communities as tour guides and all of that. But how we actually attract them, we just put a post out there on Facebook. And then we've got people that are already, some of them are already studying tourism, and most of them, they studied, but they dropped out of university or college, and they wanted to continue to pursue tourism. Yeah.
What are some of your favorite success stories of women that you've brought into the fold and have become tourism women?
So there was this one, it made me really cry, made me super emotional. So she was one of the quietest one in the group in 2018 when we started with our cohort. She was quiet, she wasn't really contributing in class, and then we went on the road trip. So on the road trip, they become tourists. So we let them see the world from that view, not to say you're learning, but you're a tourist. So they did the check-ins, they did all kinds of activities such as bungee jump, which is the hardest one, because they struggle with that. They've never done that thing, and they feel that they're gonna die, and they feel that they need to face their fears, and it's not the right time, and they need to call their parents. So that's always nice to see that at first, everyone is scared, but then when they come together as women, They hold each other's hands, they start praying, they start encouraging each other to do this without even me having to jump in. That's like one of the two things that whenever I play it again in my head, I just get super emotional, because it's so inspiring to see women coming together like that. It's not an everyday thing because we quarrel a lot, but on the road trip, I get to see a lot of that. And then this one lady, she was quiet, not really, like she wasn't really out there. But towards the end of the road trip, we were asking to share stories and all of that. And she just got up and then she started speaking. And for me, I was like, it's so much nice to work with, like seeing growth. I saw growth in her because she was quiet, and then for some reason we gave her time, and she came out of that shell and become this bright, really down, like she was really down to earth and welcoming and passionate about tourism. So that was like the best moment for me.
So you've put so much effort into this, and these women have become part of the tourism community. What has happened to their livelihoods as a result of COVID? Are they working? Are they on furlough? Tell me a little bit about what their life looks like at the moment.
To be honest with you, their lives have came into, like, their dreams, I would say, they came into a halt based on, like, because of this COVID-19 thing, the whole lockdown. Because we had like a group of 20 participants that were to graduate in 2020 March, but they were already employed. 10 out of them were already getting employed, and they were already working and providing for their families, building homes, and also having dreams of wanting to take people out of the community and showing them around, because they've never hiked before. So I had one that wanted to actually expose most of the girls in the community to traveling and trying out new things just to broaden their minds. So everything just came into like a stop, and they lost their jobs, and now they're back to trying to find something maybe online, study more online, or continue with a catering small business to make ends meet during this time.
And what do you say to them to inspire them to keep the faith and stay in tourism and not go and do something else? Because it's tempting, how long is it going to take for us to come out of lockdown?
Exactly. So what we do, we have first we have like a WhatsApp group with all of them, all of our cohorts, 2018, 2019, and 2020. So what we do, like, there is this quote by Eleanor Roosevelt: a woman is like a tea bag. You never know how strong she is until she gets in hot water. So I feel this is our hot water as women in tourism. So the only way we can actually beat this is not by just giving up and saying, throwing the towel, but it's by continuing doing the amazing work that we do, whether you're running a business or whatsoever. Because most of them, we have one that's running a small business at home. She's selling paraffin. She's like buying paraffin from a gas station and selling it to the people in the community. So we continue to say to them, we need to find ways of adapting to this evolving world, because this is not the only time that things are going to change. We're going to continue going through change. It's just that we need to find ways of adapting and working with what's been brought into our attention, and also trusting the process that also, like, the reward will be bigger than what is currently happening right now.
Why is tourism important to you, to Asanda?
Tourism is important to Asanda because I would say, for me, tourism is the only thing that it's not the only thing, but I feel like it shaped my life in a way that I never thought it would. It introduced me to opportunities that I thought they were like out of reach, because I come from a very small town in Trinidad, and it's hard when you come from a small community to see like things beyond what's happening in your community. So it exposed me to opportunities that actually are now helping me to empower more women, to expose them to opportunity that will give them like more independence and become who they would like to be, or whoever they would like to be. Either they want to be entrepreneurs or they want to be managers of small companies. Yeah.
And what did your family think when you said, I'm going to do tourism? Did they think you were nuts?
No, my mom's still asking me if I found the job as a social worker in Cape Town, because that's what I said to her. But now I just tell her that this is what I love, because I've been to so many countries because of tourism. I traveled to Namibia for the first time. I traveled to Amsterdam. I traveled to Bali by myself. Like, I came out of my shell and I was able to actually explore other places without the fear of being a woman or not having someone to hold my hand while I'm doing all of these experiences. So she's happy that I'm actually exploring something that I love, and also I'm working with women because it's still like aligned with social work. I'm still working to empower people, but now it's through a different, more exciting way.
And if you had a hotline to the president or to the NCCC and you were asking them for something for the women that you've been working with, what would you say to them?
To be honest, there's one thing that I wish the government would just, I don't know, do. Give power to more women. Listen to what we have to say. Like, it adds so much value. When you work with the woman, you're not just working with one woman, you're working with other million women out there. Because I feel women are not just doing things for themselves. They do stuff for the whole community. So when you empower women, as they say, you empower the whole country or the nation.
And the tourism industry, what could the tourism industry be doing better to make sure that women have a seat at the table and that tourism has a seat at the table?
So really, I think also it also goes back to the women side of things, is to add more women, have that, not like have that kind of equality, have that space where everyone is actually allowed to voice the like ideas and all of that. Because I still feel, to be honest, I feel like the tourism industry is still, there's a lot of patriarchy still. There's like, you find a lot of men at the top positions and, you know, women not so much there. To a point that, like, I had, while I was working for Once in Cape Town, I had a lot of times where someone would come and complain, looking for a manager, and then when they bump into me and say I'm the manager, they'll be like, no, you're not the manager. So they're always expecting to see a manager as a male. So that's like a cycle. That's something that we need to break. We need to have that equality where we can have a manager that can be a woman. I think we're more than powerful to take on that kind of position. And for tourism, I feel tourism is like, prior to COVID, it was doing well. I think it just needs to take into consideration when it comes to maybe rates and all of that, to accommodating more South Africans. Because now I've been exploring during this lockdown, I've been doing all those kind of things that tourists have been doing. And then the prices are actually really, you know, reasonable because of this. But during like high seasons, like the high season, it's ridiculous for South Africans to travel around and explore their own country. Yeah.
Are you proudly tourism? Are you someone who's proud to be the fact that you work in the tourism industry?
Oh my God, yes. Oh yeah. I'm 100% or 110% proud to be in this space. I am like every day learning something new. It's just helping me grow as a person and as a professional. So I am very proud.
And what are your hopes for the future? You know, when this is eventually over, hopefully one day, what do you hope will happen?
I hope that more South Africans, they get to explore their own country, and that also for Kwela, that we get to have a bigger like impact on women around South Africa. And because also, like, what I like about tourism, that it gives people like an opportunity to become independent, and also gives them that, like, what is it, self-reliance. They begin to rely on themselves, because now you can start your own business in the tourism industry. So I just wish that also, like, most of South Africans can open their eyes to that tourism is not just about having tourists over, but it's about allowing South Africans to depend on themselves and not depend on the government, and to start whatever skill that they want to showcase. It will attract a lot of international travelers or even local travelers.
What do you think about this IAmTourism movement? What are your thoughts around it?
I think it's a great. I think it's a great movement. I was talking to my housemate about it. I think it's like I even saw a bus that was it was written on the window, "Save Tourism," and I was like, it's about time, because in South Africa, our government is totally messed up, and if you're not, it's up to us. If we're not doing anything about it, then we're just gonna go down with them. So I feel like it's a great movement that you're actually standing up for what you feel that is it's right. And yeah.
What keeps you going? Like, what gives you the energy to keep doing what you do?
What keeps me going? I am a very like passionate person about, I don't know, I'm passionate about working with people. I love people. I love people like more than anything else. And I feel like whenever I do something right, it fills my soul with so much joy. So I think what fuels me is helping someone get from point A to point B, being there. And also traveling, of course. That's like one of the things. I work the entire week, and then on Saturday it's time to explore. So yeah.
Awesome. I love that. Thank you so much for such a wonderful interview. You're just you speak to all these different women. Every single woman, no matter where she is emotionally and financially, has been such an inspiration to speak to. I have received so much more than I'm giving by amplifying their voices. It's just been amazing. So thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
Very cool. You too.
Cheers, Asanda. Bye.